It originated in the infinite void of the Macroverse, a vast, timeless darkness enveloping and containing our entire universe like an unseen shell. There, beyond time and space as humans understand them, it existed as a pure entity, a writhing, pulsating cluster of orange deadlights, hypnotic, destructive lights that could drive any living mind to instant madness with a single glance. These deadlights were its true nature, a force of raw chaos, hunger, and consumption. Opposite it stood the ancient cosmic turtle, known as Macharon, a benevolent guardian who vomited forth our universe in an act of accidental creation. The two were natural enemies, one embodying order and life, the other pure devouring entropy. Both may have emerged from an even higher force called the other, but to it such origins meant nothing. It simply was hunger incarnate. In a moment of cosmic drift, it tore free from the Macroverse and plummeted through layers of reality. Its arrival on the young Earth was cataclysmic. A blazing object struck the ground where the town of Derry would one day stand, shattering the land and sending up clouds of dust and vapor. Yet it survived unharmed, burrowing deep beneath the surface into primordial caverns and future sewer networks yet to be carved by water and human hands. It established its lair, a vast hidden chamber where the deadlights could glow undisturbed in eternal dark. Over eons the world above transformed. Forests grew, rivers formed, primitive life appeared. It waited, subtly extending tendrils of influence, watching life bloom on the surface. It awakened in long, repeating cycles. Each time after deep slumber, it emerged to hunt, adopting shapes designed to evoke maximum terror. It fed not on flesh alone, but on fear itself. The stronger the dread, the richer and more nourishing the life force became. Children were its preferred prey. Their vivid imaginations made fear easier to ignite and amplify. Adults sufficed, but their fears were dulled by routine and disbelief. Most often it chose the form of a dancing clown named Pennywise, sometimes calling itself Bob Gray or Robert Gray, white-painted face, tufts of red hair framing a bald scalp, wide crimson grin, baggy silver suit with orange pom-poms, and clusters of bright balloons that floated against the wind. This guise was perfect. Children secretly adored circus performers, while adults harbored an instinctive, irrational fear of clowns. The contrast made the lure irresistible and the terror especially delicious. During active periods, it prowled Derry's streets, alleys, parks, riverbanks, and sewer grates, triggering vanishings and forcing people to witness impossibilities. Lepers in shadows, werewolves in mist, colossal birds overhead, swarms of rats below. Fear soaked into the town, thickening the air and staining its walls. Residents noticed oddities, sudden violence, suicides, devastating storms, but its psychic haze clouded investigation. The city outwardly thrived despite the losses, maintaining an illusion of normalcy that it cultivated to ensure a steady supply of victims. Most disappearances struck children during awakening seasons. Bodies were rarely found, but traces always led downward to the sewers, echoing with clown laughter and balloon rustles. Deeper in its lair, it sometimes assumed a more monstrous shape, a gigantic, egg-laying spider-like creature, pregnant, multi-eyed, multi-limbed, covered in orange-light hairs. This was the closest the human mind could grasp, yet still only a projection. Behind it writhed the true deadlights, endless, crawling, luminous tendrils capable of shattering consciousness. Victims who glimpsed them too closely went irreversibly insane. It used these lights to paralyze prey before the final devouring. Fear salted the meat, as it sensed in its silent feeding, and it savored every pulse of terror-enhanced energy. Cycles repeated endlessly. After gorging amid citywide horror and blood-soaked soil, it retreated into hibernation, body contracting, deadlights dimming, sinking into profound sleep beneath the sewers. The town quieted. People forgot or half forgot the horrors. New generations built homes, laid pipes, unaware of the ancient hunger slumbering below. It required no constant wakefulness. Infrequent risings sufficed to sustain it, digesting stored fear, growing stronger for the next emergence. It favored appearing near drains and wells as Pennywise, balloons in hand, grin stretched impossibly wide. yellow eyes glowing. Children drew near, entranced by color and promise of fun. Then terror crashed. Balloons popped, rot stench erupted, or the face morphed into personal nightmares. It never simply killed. It toyed, prolonging dread to heighten flavor. In other guises, it became victims' deepest fears: dead relatives, giant wolves with burning eyes, walls crawling with insects. Each shift was flawless, drawn directly from the prey's mind and made real. Derry grew around its lair like a parasite around its host. Homes on fear-drenched earth, schools and churches under its shadow. Residents felt vague unease they could not name. Occasionally, it unleashed surface cataclysms: fires, floods, explosions claiming lives and scarring the land, markers of a new cycle beginning. Afterward, it retreated satiated, and the town healed without questioning too deeply. Its influence seeped into every mind. Police looked away, parents turned blind eyes, teachers stayed silent. Derry lived, always under control. Sewer tunnels expanded under its power, walls slick with slime and victim remnants, air heavy with iron and decay. Between hunts it practiced forms: rat packs with human faces, birds with toothed beaks, pure swirling deadlights. Sometimes these lights leaked upward through grates, driving passers-by to panicked flight with hallucinations. None returned to investigate. It knew no pity or purpose beyond survival and satiation. Its existence was an eternal loop, descent from the Macroverse, burrowing, awakenings, hunts, dormancy. The turtle drifted elsewhere, upholding cosmic balance, but to it that was distant background noise. It was predator and glamour, shifting shape to hunger's whim. As Pennywise it danced through streets, balloons bursting with whispers of lost names. As spider it laid eggs in the depths, hinting at propagation, though its true essence remained incomprehensible. With each cycle, fear accumulated in Derry like river silt. Children inherited subconscious dread of clowns, drains, darkness. Adults felt chest tightness near old manholes. The city prospered outwardly but rotted within. It watched from below, deadlights flickering silently. It never hurried. Fresh prey, fresh fears, always awaited. Sewers breathed with its rhythm. Balloons sometimes rose on their own against the current. In rare moments it edged closer to its full nature. When a victim reached the lair, deadlights partially pierced the spider form, vibrating the air until minds cracked. Those who glimpsed even a fraction lost reality forever. Yet it preferred restrained terror before the slow drain of life, leaving hollow shells to wash up in rivers or basements. Cycles turned without end. Derry changed. New streets, new faces, new terrors, but it remained constant, older than the land itself, older than trees or humans. The Macroverse echoed through its deadlights, reminding of origins. The turtle balanced worlds afar, but it simply fed. As Bob Gray the dancing clown, it smiled beyond human limits, beckoning the next child toward the great. Balloons drifted, laughter echoed in tunnels, fear salted the meat again and again. It never ceased. It waited in sewer darkness where walls murmured every devoured name, deadlights pulsing softly, ready to blaze. Pennywise danced in sleeping minds. Derry slumbered above, ignorant of the ancient hunger beating beneath its foundations. The Macroverse entity perpetuated its endless cycle, shape-shifting, nightmare-weaving, feeding on vulnerability. Fear was its sustenance, the city its farm, eternity its home. In the labyrinths below, it sometimes became hybrid horrors or raw deadlight energy, experimenting to strengthen surface influence. Derry residents woke from dreams of red-grinned clowns offering balloons against orange abysses, forgetting details but retaining unease. It amplified that unease, keeping the town fertile for future risings. Each awakening began the same: faint earth tremors, odd sewer noises, first vanishings. It targeted the most imaginative, those whose minds still burned bright. Pennywise appeared in parks, near schools, by the river. Balloons flew windward, drawing eyes. Fear rose like tide until it overwhelmed. Then it consumed, cries echoing only in pipes. Sated, it slept again. Derry exhaled, puzzled by its sudden lightness. Its true essence stayed partly veiled even to itself. Deadlights were not form, but connection to the Macroverse. Fully unveiled, they warped time, dulled colors, shattered minds. It conserved that power for rare necessity, favoring masks. Pennywise was the ideal disguise, cheerful, vivid, lethally deceptive. Bob Gray grinned in shadow, and Derry lived shadowed by that grin. Cycles stretched forever. It grew stronger per feeding, spider body enlarging, eggs multiplying in the depths. The town adapted, barriers built, yet sewers stayed open. Fear passed generationally, causeless clown phobia, manhole avoidance. It fed on this legacy even asleep. The Macroverse whispered origins, the turtle journeyed distant. It remained Derry's eternal underground predator. Each active phase closed with a grand horror spectacle, storm, fire, disappearance wave, for final gorging before sleep. Deadlights faded, form shrank, silence fell over sewers. Derry mended, forgot specifics, retained fear's aftertaste. It waited, always waited. Pennywise danced in dreams, balloons floated in dark, and the cycle renewed. Such was its existence. Ancient void being crash-landed via catastrophe, rooted beneath the city, turning it into eternal hunting ground. It shifted forms, summoned nightmares, fed on terror, hibernated, unchanging in Deadlight core. Derry thrived above, blind to full truth. Below, it performed its infinite dance in sewer gloom, flashing the red clown smile of Bob Gray. Fear salted the meat. The city supplied the harvest. The Macroverse guarded its secret. It continued eternally.